Hey, it's Warren Huart here. Hope you're doing marvellously well. We're back with Alex from Recording Connection. How are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
Really good. So why don't we do some bass? We've done some drums, done some guitars. I think we've done all kinds of schnizzle.
Yeah.
Let's do some bass.
Let's do some bass.
We're going to record a DI, record a mic, do a rough mix of the bass sounds and just kind of see how it works.
Sounds good.
Create some rock and roll history.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not using a cheap DI. This is a really beautiful DI. It's an Acme, it's the Motown DI. You can plug straight into the front of your interface. You don't have to go through a DI box. This one's special. It really is a special. It has a huge transformer in it and it basically adds a lot of weight to the bass sound. We'll hear it in a second. The DI just has got so much bottom end, it's fantastic. And it is a noticeable difference. This is not one of those, I've got a lot of different DIs and I like them all. I've got the Rupert Neve one I love, I have the Radial I use all the time. I have the BAE Valgaray. I have DIs. I even have somewhere a Demeter Tube DI. So I've got all the ones that people love and more whirlwinds. This is my favorite on bass by far. It's huge. It just has so much low end. I could really just use this on its own. However, it is not cheap. It's not like a $100 one. It's like $500.
Oh, wow.
But it's one of the only DIs that I could literally just plug into and just use with nothing else. We brought this to Sunset Sound the other day and the house engineer was freaking out like how good it is. Wow. It really is a wonderful piece of equipment. I'm not paid to sell these things. I just really believe strongly in it. So what they did is they took one of the Detroit Motown DIs that James Jamerson recorded with because he didn't go through an amp. He just went through one of these. Oh, so the classic Motown sound is this thing. It's not cheap, but it's a very sound investment. It's got a ground lift here, which is working as you can hear. It's got attenuation, which basically means you can turn it down, but I'm just going direct. I'm just going straight through it and just using the transformer. It's fantastic. So mic-wise, we're using this Soundtronics DM1B. I've got it slightly off axis. It's not right on the cone. If it was on the center of the cone, it's at its brightest. As you move it to the edge, it's darker. So I've got it somewhere in the middle.
What kind of mic is that?
It's the Soundtronics DM1B. I've been using it a lot recently. It's a really, really good bass sound, and we just ended up using it. We've been swapping out different mics, but that seems to be our favorite.
So what kind of mic is that?
It's a condenser. It's they sell it specifically for bass guitar and kick drum.
Okay.
We've had it on the kick drum. We've now got the Lewitt on there, and we use this now permanently on the bass, and it sounds freaking awesome. I don't think they're that much. I'd have to look it up again, but it didn't cost very much, and it sounds really great on bass.
Cool. So you just point it directly in the cone?
Yeah, but I'm doing not right in the center, just to the edge.
To the edge. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's somewhere in the middle. So here's the center where it's going to be the brightest. Here's the edge where it's the darkest. I've got it somewhere, relatively bright. Okay. I actually use my amp for the personality and my DI for the warmth. Okay. You'll hear what I do. We'll go in and check out the tone. So I've got a song open here. I'm going to go over to the side of the song here. And I'm going to print. So. Nice long note. Oh, so the DI could be a little hotter. We can turn that up just a shade. Okay, so what we've got, the phase isn't too bad. This is really where it comes down to. It's actually quite accurate in some ways. It really depends. See, what you could do is what I might look at that as being is this. So I could flip the polarity of this top one. So if I do this, flip the polarity, so what I'm doing is I'm taking that top waveform and I'm lining it back up there. Okay. And then I'm going to drag it back 140 samples. So what I'm doing is I'm just, let's see if we can hear a difference in the low end. Bypass it. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's nice.
I hear it, yeah.
That's beautiful. So what I've done is I've time adjusted. I've taken the DI and I have, and I'm now listening to it, not printing it, but listening to it a little later. Okay, let's just for shits and schniggles, because we were talking about the DI, let's listen to the DI on its own. So much bottom end from a DI. This is a Mexican jazz bass with a badass bridge. I do have Seymour Duncan pickups, but I haven't put them in yet. Sorry, Seymour. Beautiful DI, just no EQ. Really fat. So what I do is I will do this. I'll use my DI for the bottom end because it's clean, it doesn't have as much personality and like distortion potentially an amp does. That becomes my low end sound.
Okay.
It's just beautiful. So what I'm doing is I'm going up, say 136, and I'm sloping it off. So I'm low passing, which means I'm letting the low end pass through. Okay, now if I go to my amp here, which is noisy, that's all my personality. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the opposite.
Okay. It's the high pass now?
High pass it. So no bottom end to speak of that. Put the two together. Get loads of bottom end. It's clean bottom end with little distortion because it's from the DI.
Yeah.
But once again, if I wanted to, I could just use that DI on its own, take off the EQ. I mean, that is a great bass.
Yeah.
It's almost like, I mean, I know it's an expensive DI, but you could turn up to a session with just that DI.
Yeah.
It's the most impressed I've been with the bass DI ever. It's really good. It's a great tool. And as an engineer, if a guy turns up with that kind of gear, it makes me impressed. Okay, so next up, Decapitator. It's a bit of distortion.
So you're kind of giving it that like growl-ish kind of.
A little extra growl. So it's open, I'm not EQing it, but I'm driving it.
You're just bumping the drive?
Yeah, I got the drive, but see the mix isn't all that, if I go there.
Okay, yeah.
It's really, so I put it back to about 50%, so it's the dry signal mixed in with the new distorted.
Wow.
I just like a little bit of saturation. I mean, that's what old gear used to do for us. Okay, so a little 110 bump. Little 8K, 9K here, and a little about 850 here for sort of the mid-range. Just gives us that honkiness that I love on a bass. Then our old friend R bass. Huge amount of bottom end.
Yeah.
But it's going into the C4, which is a multi-band compressor. So it's getting squashed. Evenly compressing it.
Yeah. So you just did you take out the lows in that one then?
So we're taking out lows, is squashing it very, very aggressively. As you can hear.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it.
Yeah, you can see it.
It's got like
too,
6 dBs worth of gain reduction. But it's squashing it back. It's super even. Yeah, it's super even. I mean, I could release a little faster. I could come in around here. That's nice. Yeah, I like that. Okay, and this is my last and my favorite secret weapon that Waves make is the MV2. The MV2 is just great. What it does for bass, not so much on this bass, but and depending on the performer, like a lot of people play really hard with the pick. It's super dynamic, loud, quiet, whatever. Great thing about the MV2, it takes the low level and the high level and compresses them independently. So brings up the low level stuff.
Yeah, it gives it more of an even.
Yeah, far more even.
Yeah.
It's great. I love that. It's really good. So that's one of my favorite plugins ever. Any manufacturer. Everybody has great plugins, but that's one of my favorites.
Do you use it on guitars too?
I use it on pretty much anything. It's like a mix solver.
Yeah.
Shouldn't say that out loud, but it really is. It's great. Everybody will disagree with me, but it solves a lot of problems. Okay, so let's just play this verse. So much pain, yeah. I really want you to love you. I really wanted to have your heart. All you wanted was to hold me in your arms for just one night. I needed more than that with you. Cool. So basically, I was just pretty much following the kick. The kick was doing a kick, just a kick on every bar, and then on the second bar of the F, it was doing a double kick.
Yeah.
Just putting up a couple of fills.
Okay.
It's pretty attacky on the bass amp there, a little aggressive, so we could probably move the mic if we wanted, because we've got some super peaks there. It's not the end of the world. We'll see what it sounds like now it's been recorded.
Sits really well in like all the instruments.
Nice. It's interesting, I hear that tone, that's a very close tone to what I would have recorded with tape, but because I would have hit the tape so hard, some of those transients would have been eaten up. I mean, that's just those extra transients of me digging in on the bass amp, we could definitely control. But yeah, that's basically the sound. So what I'm doing is I'm sort of moving between thinking about playing the same kick pattern, but also trying to fill it in and make it exciting. So if I listen to the drums and the bass together.
I mean, that's usually what you do, right? You follow the kick and the bass.
Yeah, I'm following the kick, but it doesn't have to do it every nanosecond. But you know, if it follows the general feel, it will lock the two together. But of course, I'm filling in as well. Most of the time, super simple. C, G, F, so 1, 5, 4, then 6. That's it. Really, really simple. But yeah, I'm playing dumb, playing to the kick, and then also just kind of filling it in with a riff, you know, after that A minor, I'm in a...
Yeah.
You know, and I find most of the bass playing, especially when I'm playing for these kind of chord sequences, I'm just playing kind of blocks. I'm playing pentatonic majors. It's like this. I'm in C. Doing these little pentatonic runs.
Yeah.
You know, just hitting the major third. Super, super simple stuff, but the simpler it is, kind of the better, because it's not going to get in the way of any guitar lines or whatever I've done, you know. kind of a less is more approach. But again, let's listen to that DI because it's pretty awesome on its own. It's no EQ, nothing.
Yeah, wow.
Just kind of bratty the way I'm overplaying it. But the bottom end is fantastic for a DI.
Yeah.
It's huge bottom end. Yeah, pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
Got the REQ on it, and with the time adjusters, it's just stupid. So much bottom end. I'm not adding bottom end, I'm just wiping off the top. Yeah, really good. I don't take some mystery out of it because a lot of the time you can just plug into the front of your interface and you've got a good bass sound.
Yeah.
You know, most of it's in the performance. Like I said, you know, I can see there's some mastering engineers called fishtails, where you get the attack in there. I think we could set some compression to sort of catch some of that. But ultimately, those high transients there are being hit by the Decapitator first and sort of adding to some of the grit on the amp. It doesn't bother me. But I could also move the mic a little bit away from the cone, not get it quite so bright on the amp there. That would also help it. But you know, you often with the bass performances, you get that slappy.
Yeah, just that like little thing at the beginning.
Yeah, that's why some of the really great guys play so soft. I mean, you know, I'm a bass player fifth or something. I'm a guitar player mainly, but you know.
Yeah.
You know, the great guys play like this.
You don't have to do much.
And you get so much bottom end out of it when you play that soft. As opposed to... You got that?
The buzz.
Yeah, that's the string slapping on there.
Yeah.
You know, so the great guys are like, stroke it.
It's a lot more clean and like...
Yeah, I mean, when I'm working with Sean Hurley, he just plays so soft. He gets beautiful fat tone.
Yeah, but...
And also the other thing about not playing super hard like that, it's not just the distortion, it's the string is going to move a huge amount. It's also going to sound like it's out of tune.
Yeah.
It's going to go, whoa, it's going to like, you know, when it's moving that much.
Yeah.
That, whoa. But if it's...
Yeah. So it's probably like a disadvantage of like a pick too.
Exactly. If you're going to play the pick super hard, like really banging heavily into it, you should probably tune to the transient, to the first hit. When you're playing like super, super hard, like if you... Every single one of those eighth notes is going to be sharp, but if it's... But you might want the attack because it's part of the sound.
Yeah.
You know, driving the amp really hard. That might be the sound, especially in rock, of just that kind of attack. However, playing that hard, every transient, that initial transient and the sustain of the bass for a nanosecond is going to be sharp. So when you're tuning, you'll be tuning for the initial hit, not for the decay.
So you'd have to essentially detune it then?
Yeah, you're basically tuning just for for that initial hit.
Yeah.
Because you're playing eighth notes. But if you were playing long, subtle...
Yeah, like soft ones.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to get rid of that because it already has like a tag on it.
Yeah, well, basically, if you play like a long, slow note like that, it's where it settles and stays is where you want to be in tune.
Yeah.
It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, as opposed to...
Yeah.
It's no use tuning for the decay, going, oh, here it's in tune, because you're only playing note this short.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And if you're, you know, some guys are digging underneath.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a combination of performance, but even then, you know, I've worked with bass players that don't have very good technique on the right hand, and I've tuned the bass so they play in tune. Okay. So, and then other people when they're young will grab the bass really hard and sort of, you know.
Yeah, so like bending it like that is also out of tune.
Playing chords like, you know. Guitar players do the same thing. They sort of grab the strings. Don't have to, but it's really useful to have a good understanding of how all the different pitfalls and performances, so that when you're with the artist, you can guide them, you can tune the instrument for them. Scott Schreiner, a good friend of mine, is the bass player for Weezer.
Yeah.
tunes in the middle of the bass. He doesn't play an open string because unless he's literally playing. Most of the time he's so why would he tune this open E the whole time when he's playing, always playing around here? So he tunes in the areas that he plays 90% of the time. Because intonation is always an approximation, it's equal temperament.
Yeah.
You know, so finding somewhere that works for the bass is really where to go.
All right.
Excellent. All right, well hopefully
That's
that
good.
helps and
Yeah,
answers
it
some
does.
questions.
Yeah.
Marvellous. Please leave some comments and questions below. I love talking bass recording, bass playing, bass anything. It's one of the most fun things. It holds the whole song together.
Yeah.
Because it's your job to tie rhythm, melody, and harmony all together. It's probably, along with the vocals, the second most important thing. You can have a great drum track and you can have a great vocal track. And you can have some cool, fun guitar parts. I love having fun with overdubs and stuff. But the bass can hold the whole thing together.
Yeah, it's like
Glues.
icing on the cake. You know, it's just like a really good like.
Well, I think it's the glue.
Oh yeah.
It's
yeah.
the glue. The guitar can be
sense.
the icing. This is like
Yeah, yeah.
this like connects everything together when it's done well.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just means playing roots and being super simple. And other times it's like, you know, getting and grabbing.
Yeah.
You know, playing like a little bit of melody, like a.
Yeah, because when they clash, it like brings out the tone of like the other instruments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful. Leave a bunch of comments and questions below. Have a marvellous time recording and mixing, and we'll see you all again very soon.